Hello, hello. It's Carrie, So Much Glitter. Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad to have you here. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. And if you find something that inspires you here today, please like and share with a crafty friend. If you are new, I'm so glad to have you here. Take a look around, and if anything inspires you, please comment, like, and share. And I do have my community tab open, so if I have inspired you to create something, please go ahead and share that with everyone so we can inspire each other. I am doing a special recorded video today in celebration of the Easter holiday, so happy Easter weekend. And I will be spending this weekend with my family because I do have adult children and a grandson. So I'm kind of splitting my time up amongst their schedules and my schedule as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab a drink. I have a tea here because I am recording this on Saturday morning. And grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite drink, gather your craft supplies, and let's just join me around the craft table. I am going to be doing this in the same format that I do my regular Sunday live. So come back next Sunday, April 12th, 11 a.m. Pacific time. I will be having a special guest. So that will be scheduled in the live section of my YouTube channel. So don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications, and then you won't miss anything. I've been doing a lot of guest appearances on channels and having guests on mine. I'm experimenting with the whole StreamYard system, so it's a little bit new to me. I'm also experimenting with a new webcam because, excuse me, I was having, excuse me, I'm gonna take another sip of my tea because I was having issues with the old phone that I was recording on. I think it was a memory issue or whatever. And I think that this is fine because I do meetings at home, sometimes a lot for school, especially closer to graduation, and sometimes for work. So let's just go ahead and get started. I do have my 2026 gratitude jar that I've been writing one thing a week on my Sunday lives that I am grateful for. And so I've been putting that in here, and then on my New Year's Eve live stream, which will be through the Streamathon through Raul. I'm going to take part of that again. We can empty this out, and I have already made a special journal for it. Put this in a journal and write down like our highlights and maybe put some memory keeping in there. So if you all know who Raul is and if you follow him, he does the Streamathon and he organizes the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day stream, and that's a lot of hard work, and we're all very grateful for him to bringing us all together in one place during that special time of year. So if you want to go ahead and give him a follow, I will try to link him below, and we want to send him up some healing vibrations and some prayers because he has been having some health issues. So we're really grateful for Raul supporting our community, and he's such a bright light in this community. I do want to start with the book of positive quotations that I did pick up from my used bookstore earlier this year. And I always like to do something each week that resonates with kind of how I'm feeling and the thought of the week and what I want to manifest for the week coming up. And so this time I have chosen simplicity. And it looks like I've chosen something from simplicity before. Um, but I'm choosing a different quote from this simplicity chapter, and that is love and do what you like from St. Augustine. And that just kind of resonates with me today because I'm starting my day with this recording. I need to go into a little bit of homework. I had to place a grocery order, and then I'm going to be getting the Easter baskets ready and kind of loading up the car and going to the beach because my grandson's we're going to be celebrating Easter with him there, and then I'll be celebrating Easter with my daughter tomorrow because our work schedules are all a little bit opposite. But also, what really resonated with me was Keep Breathing by Sophie Tucker. So we do have struggle in the beauty. So if you want to check out my latest YouTube live, which was a special YouTube live last night on Friday the 3rd, I had Carol and Chris on my channel. And there, over the last few days, has been a lot of struggle on my YouTube channel for technical difficulties and things that I'm learning. I just need to learn how to keep breathing through whatever the struggle is, and there is beauty in that struggle. So love and do what you like and just keep breathing through it. So that's how we're going to start the intention for this weekend and this upcoming week. And then I do want to write something that I'm grateful for, and I do put the date on it, and I am going to put today's date, which is April 4th. And I am grateful for time, time to do what I love, to do what I need to. And I don't necessarily always love that. And spend time with loved ones. And I'm just going to put a one. And then I always kind of just love from myself. And those are just simple reminders because, you know, there's a lot of negativity going on in the media and on social media and in the news and kind of just everywhere. And the day-to-day grind can kind of get us down. So I like to just kind of focus on what I'm grateful for and the positivity. And I always just kind of give it a shake. Not that that matters because it's all getting dumped out anyway, but it just makes me feel better. It's a little bit more fun, like my Yahtzee days with my grandma. Anyway, so I have this. This came from Happy Mail. This Believe in Yourself came from some Happy Mail that I received from Curiously Crafty Friends. I'm from Michelle, so I'm grateful for that. So I just leave this here as a fun reminder. I'll probably need to scoot that out of the way a little bit though. And today I want to continue working on my journal from a Be Happy Stationery. I have everything linked below where you can find this and the Be Happy Stationery shop and everything. So I'm creating a spring journal. And I started creating this on a live a few weeks ago. And I just created this out of a manila envelope. And this is very reminiscent of my grandson. And I added some of the Kiritaki gold. So we're just going to do a really quick flip through. I did some pockets, and these are the free Grungy Rainbows from Marisa at Sweet Pea Curiosities. So you'll be able to find everything. I do have my link tree below if you don't know where to find me. And I really took two different kits and put this journal together. And this is going to be for some spring memory keeping for events and fun things throughout the springtime and possibly summertime with my grandson. I have a first year journal for him, and I also have a Christmas journal that I've made for him, and that those are little paper bag journals. So now I kind of want to have a little fun spring summer one, or maybe depending on the people that I like to follow and create for and the different design teams that I'm on, maybe I'll get a special summer summer one. I don't know, but this is what this is for now, and I'm just like going to be documenting some fun spring memories. And I just wanted to continue going on with that. And I think I want to create a few clusters today with the bits that I have from this kit. This is a separate kit. I absolutely love this kit, the Grungy Rainbows. This is a freebie. So if you're like an 80s child like myself, you're gonna need this kit, but it goes so well with this kit too. And Be Happy Stationery's right here. And I just think that it is so fun, whimsical, and really uplifting. So I wanted to create the clusters to go in this journal. And I think I want to do some, I want to mix it up a little bit, right? I think all of my craft supplies and craft designers play really well together. And a lot of these things, some of these things I purchased, some of these things I haven't. Actually, everything I have on my desk I've not purchased because I am on Be Happy's design team, and this is what I am creating. But I'm super, super grateful for that. And again, this was a freebie. I was looking over off to the side at things I love to create. So if you watched my live last night, you would see that this finished Haunted Spring And I received this coloring book from Lois Goody. I purchased it. I didn't receive it. I purchased it off of Amazon. I meant that like I received it at my front door. I just received it l- early last week. I think maybe late last weekend. So I really like creating that. So I did purchase this. So you want to check that out. So these are two different kits. So this is one kit and this is one kit, but I love the way that they mingle together. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use something from here. So I'm going to cut this out first. And I'm trying not to make this like a super long video because I know everybody is fairly busy on an Easter weekend and I don't want to take up too much time. But I do want us to get some self-care time in. It's really important that we get self-care time. We take time for ourselves to create. um, and like I said, I am playing with like a new webcam. So if you're having difficulty with hearing me or seeing me, which you shouldn't because this is pre-recorded, I'm not the best editor. I'm gonna have to like e- preface with that. I am not the best editor. But I do get by, right? And then I do want to get out my um corner chomper, my crocodile corner chomper, because I didn't round those off in any form of justice like Marisa meant for it to be. So I just use my corner chomper for that. Okay, so I do want to use, I think I want to use him because this is for my grandson. Okay, so here's a QR code for Be Happy Stationery if you want to grab that screenshot, or if you want to grab that during the video, you can, and you can go right to her shop. Everything's linked below. Um, but since this is for my grandson, I thought, oh, this would be fun because my grandson is looking just like this little boy, looking just like my son did when he was at his age. He's 20 months. He is like the light of my life. And that is like sounds really cheesy and corny, but I have to tell you that it's the truth because I was a young, busy, stressed out mom when I had my son. And I always want to put the rainbow kind of right behind him. And this is like living the best parts of that all over again. I'm no longer young. I'm still stressed out because, it's 2026 and this is just kind of what it is. And, life doesn't get less stressful as we go along. We just learn how to manage it a little bit better. So, and I have a lot less obligation with my grandson because, um, I'm not raising him on the daily. I'm just not. I'm not raising him on a daily basis. And I think I either want to use that or one of these. Okay, I think I'm going to use this one because we just went to SeaWorld not too long ago and we did the penguin exhibit and he really liked it. So decision made. Anyway, so it's just a lot easier, honestly, being a grandma. It's just so much joy. Um, so I just find it fun to embrace. It's easier for me to embrace like the simple things. And I had him all day on this past Tuesday because it was a holiday that I did have off. And I had him all day from 7 a.m. to like 5 or 5:30 p.m. We had so much fun. I was exhausted at the end of it, but you know what? It was worth it. It was just worth it. I don't like how it kind of cuts off right here, and I think that that's me and my printer settings. I don't think that's anything to do with so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of cluster all this together because we do want it to be a cluster. I know I'm covering up a lot of this, but you know what? I'm not really gonna worry. And then I'm probably gonna put a button here, maybe some of the gold paint. I have let's just kind of decide as we go. I do have some ribbon behind me. So we want to do that. This could be like a little tuck spot since that's kind of how we're doing it. Let's just put some glue down and see how. I don't want to get too overlappy here. Let me make sure I'm in frame for you. So like I said, if I am new to you, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. Um, let's just see if that little bit of glue will do. see if that dab of glue will do. I'm so grateful to have you here and join in on this crafty community. I just think that it's so much fun that we can meet from all over the world and kind of come together. And I do like how Raul facilitates that. And it's like we're fibs, right? So we're friends in the box. So because like some of us have met, some of us have not met, and some of us, we're just geographically too far to do that. But if you watched my live last night with Chris K, and she's known as we call her CK, but Chris K and Carol from my quiet corner. So I'm from the US because I live in California, and Carol's from Canada because she lives in Banff. And Chris is in Mexico. I don't remember where she lives out in Mexico, but she lives in central Mexico. So, excuse me. So that was a lot of fun to be able to create with everyone. So it was like three countries united to come and craft together. So that was fun. I do want to do a little bit of gold, I think, on this let's see, I'm gonna have to move things aside so I can get a little bit of space. So I want to do a little bit of gold because I want to highlight this and have it kind of go with my cover. So I have one little paintbrush that I use for this Kiritaki gold, and I never, like, I think I clean it off when I'm done with it, but it's kind of stiff from the gold. I really need to go wash it out, but it works for me for here at my desk, and it's really hard to remember to clean everything at the end of like a crafty session because like I need to quickly sometimes move on to the next task. And generally my next task isn't as fun as my crafty task. So, okay, let's set this off to the side. Like after this, I'm gonna have to do homework and I'm gonna have to get ready to go. And I think I've overestimated how much time I have. Like I don't have as much time as I thought I did. I overestimated. So I'm just gonna do this just real simple, real no rhyme or reason for kind of what I'm doing. But I just want this to kind of be highlighted and a little bit of my own piece of artwork within what the designer created. So I really like that about the printables. Like the designers are creating it with something in mind, obviously, right? Because most of the designers that I purchase from, that I'm on design teams from, they're crafters and creators themselves. And I really like that. I think it's important because they know like they're coming from a crafter's mind, right? And a creator's mind and an artist's mind. And they kind of know where products are excelling and kind of where products are falling behind. So they create based on that. And I think that that's important. So they, like Be Happy, Sandra adds a lot. There's a lot of room. And same with Marisa. That's why these play really well together. There's a lot of room for interpretation to make it your own work of art within the parameters of what they created. So I think that that's a lot of fun. I think you probably hear my phone buzzing over here, so my apologies. I have my daughter-in-law. My daughter-in-law is texting me. I have some new buttons that well, I don't think these ones are new. I thought these are. Um, I purchased at Hobby Lobby a few months ago, just like some antique type buttons. I think that those are a lot of fun. I don't necessarily want to put antique buttons, although I do really like that one, and I'm bumping into the camera. I do really like that one maybe to put on here. I think that that would be fun. I kind of wanted to save this as a tuck spot. Let's see if I did that. I probably didn't, um, because that's very me. So I have a bookmark here that I created on another video. So that's a tiny little tuck spot, right? So that's perfect. I just need to laminate those bookmarks and then I can post them. My gosh, I don't know what I've been thinking. I've had like very little time to finish up things that I've started in my craft room, and that gets a little bit frustrating sometimes, but it happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my Fabri-Tac on the on the surface that I want, oh, on the surface that I want the button to go down on, just because it's easier. And then we're going to set that off to the side. We're going to do a little wipey wipey. My goodness, I have lost this and I just found it in the back of my desk. I can't, it's funny because I was doing a live and I had Yolande in the comments and she's like, it's probably where your scissors are because I had lost my scissors at the same time. And you know what, Yolande, if you're watching, this is where I did put my scissors during that live, but for some reason, my Fabri-Tac has been covering it up the whole time. So we're just going to go ahead and set that off to the side and we're going to cut out a few more elements and let's do some fun like tags. And then we can do like a little, like a grommet kind of thing with my crocodile. I don't know. Sometimes I get my terminology wrong, but yeah, it's a grommet, right? Because it's a grommet setter, isn't it? Who knows? I'm not always going to be the most I'm not going to completely come incorrect, but I'm not always going to come the most politically correct. And I'm not here for any of that either. I keep my channel really non-political because we're here to escape that. Well, I am. I'm here to escape all of that. Um, so I don't like to kind of get into all of that. So I'll like mispronounce things, I'll say things wrong, and that just is what it is. Okay, I can't do that, but we could do that. It just kind of it happens. So I'm gonna use this because I do want to grunge it up just a little bit. I have vintage photo, which would be fun. I have tea dye or brush corduroy. I think for this, I want to use tea dye. So what I want to do really quickly is just kind of clean this off because this is my older brush. And I do have a set of newer brushes up here. But since I just found this, like, let's celebrate. But I like having like a little microfiber cloth or something off to the side. And then what we're going to do is I'm probably only going to have time like just to make a few clusters today and you know, we can get some, hopefully you're like doing something fun for yourself, you're relaxing, you're just needing some inspiration. Maybe you're looking for some new designers. So that's why I've been doing a lot of lives lately. Trying to get to know the StreamYard format because I do like crafting with other people. And YouTube just isn't very guest friendly, if you will. And so StreamYard has been, and I use the free one. I'm not like, okay, which one do I want to use? An eighth of an inch or 3/16? Okay, I think I want to use bigger one. Um, and it's just not very friendly. So everyone has to be in landscape or portrait, and yeah, I don't really like that. But I do like that. StreamYard, you can be in landscape or portrait, like you get to pick, you have a little bit more control. So I like that. Okay, so what I want to do is just add, probably need to purchase more of these because I use them up, but I see on Amazon, like I always have it in my save for later on my cart, and I don't necessarily oh, I may have done it the wrong way. I was like, I don't necessarily concentrate on, I think I did, on what way is the right way or the wrong way with this, but I probably need to. Let's just be honest. Oh, is it not unlocked? Okay, we're having a bit of a difficulty here. Did that clamp down? Not really. Okay, so let's try it again. I'm having issue with the clamping right now all of a sudden. Yeah, it's getting stuck. So, huh. I might need to, it's almost like I need to WD-40 this. There we go. Is that better? I didn't have it all the way unlocked. Well, that did clamp down that time, so we'll do. Third time's a charm, right? Third time's a charm. Let's get some ribbon. And I have a fun like ribbon hoard. My Hordo ribbon is what I call it, but I get these little ribbon um bundles, if you will, at Hobby Lobby, and they're like in color family basically is what they are. And I don't know, they're like $8 or $9. So I just find it worth it. I have a few different ones of these and I really like them. Um, and I'll just kind of go through here and see and use them and not use, just use what you will, not what whatever. It's like if you follow, oh, what's her name on, I don't know her name, on TikTok. She does like the tarot card readings and stuff. Um, she always says, "My love, keep what resonates with you and leave what doesn't." And that's kind of how I feel with like when we're watching different crafty people and you know everyone has like a fun little piece of advice, and I don't know how I want to tie this down actually. So maybe I won't tie it down for now because I don't know how I want to tie that down. But that's kind of how, when we're watching different people, one thing that works for me isn't going to necessarily work for you and vice versa. And so we just kind of have to use what resonates and leave what doesn't, basically. I'll have to find her and then I'll tell you what her name is. I forget what her name is. She comes across my feed all the time. I know I follow her, but she has like the longer form videos on TikTok. And I'm not like a huge TikToker. I do post things on TikTok um, because it's just part of, a different form of social media and maybe expression sometimes. But I'm not like solely over there. I'm mainly on Instagram and now I've expanded into YouTube. So, and with opening the community tab, that's kind of really like helped me connect with different people. And I know people have found me that way because when I'm on YouTube, just kind of scrolling through different people's shorts will come through and like they're people that have created things with, designers products and whatnot. So I've learned a lot that way and I've connected with people that way and I think that that is fun. So I've kind of just like done that. And we could get out some, let's see, do we want to? And this is just all gonna go in the journal. So I know like I'm making some of these clusters fairly big. I don't mind. Like they can clip in and out and they can like this is a fun pocket for the journal. Maybe we'll do that next, kind of open up the journal and do a fun little pocket and just kind of create a few things here today to help with finishing up this journal. A lot of journals are not like I create it and then I'm done. They're my whips. They're my works in progress. Like, we all have a work in progress, quite a few of those. So I'll bring them out here and there. And sometimes I'll do a completed project on a live or a recorded video, but not every time. Like I don't always have time or the attention span for that, just so you know. Um, and I'm just gonna fill in that. Let's see, where do we want to put this? We could put this right here. And just to kind of keep it all the same size is what we could do. And then that could be like a fun little pocket, I think is what we'll do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline this just so I really know where to set the glue. That looks a little bit crooked, doesn't it? But just so, excuse me, just so where I know to set the glue. So, because this is the only talking I've done all morning, my warm tea is coming in handy. And I have it out of my mug, my Strong Women and Company mug. And I have my honey in there and everything. So we'll just keep on trucking on. And what my question for you is like, what is your favorite crafty snack or drink? Like, what do you go to when you're crafting? Let me know in the comments. I just overshot the glue a little bit. Let me know in the comments. Mine is, I have LaCroix. I'm a big seltzer girly. I really like the bubbles. And water, of course. I do water or tea when I'm creating. So I'm probably making a little bit of a mistake with these pockets because I'm not sticking anything in there to make sure anything can fit. But they could just be like really quick notes, like a fun little quick memory. It could be like a little photo, whatever. It doesn't have to, like, not everything has to come totally and 100% polished, right? Not everything has to be perfect. And that's what I love about the junk journaling is not everything has to be perfect and not everything has to be finished all in one sitting. It just kind of like get into your flow state and create and then gather around the craft table with others. And that's really why I started doing these videos more consistently because there's a lot of pressure in certain areas of the craft community. I'm just newer to really getting into coloring for self-care, and I like the bold and cozy coloring. I like it. I don't necessarily like all of the mandalas and the fine detail coloring areas. I like the bold and cozy coloring. I get up extremely early during the week when I have to work, and I will, get my tea, get a candle going, and watch a good old nostalgic show. Like right now, I'm doing well, it's not a rewatch. I was going to say a rewatch. For most of us, it would be a rewatch, but I'm doing a watch of Charmed. I never did watch that um, when it came out because that was a really complicated time of my life. I became, I graduated high school in the 90s. I became a mom in the 90s. I met my children's father in the 90s and, got married early 2000s and then, continued on with life that way. So I just didn't have a whole lot of time for a whole lot of shows. And Charmed wasn't one of them that I picked up. So it's just fun to kind of like go back and be able to do that cozy coloring. And I don't necessarily need to like have everything be all perfect in a coloring book or anything. And I've just got into my Ohuhu alcohol markers. My favorite medium is alcohol markers because I love the saturation that you get. Um, but I also really, really like my Prismacolor Premier colored pencils, and I like using Gamsol and stuff like that. So I love watercolor too, but I watercolor more stamped than anything. So maybe in like a future video or whatever, that's what I'll do. So let's see. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this in the journal and we can stick something in it so then we know that that's a pocket and maybe something that we can write like a fun note on or put a picture on. And I think I have in mind what I want to do actually. So we'll get into that in just a second. So I always use my bone folder for these pockets because the designers give you the fold over here. So it gives you the little bit of lift. So it's not like you're having to manipulate the paper and break down the fibers by sticking something in the middle to know that it's going to fit. So that kind of gives it that extra little oomph. But I want to use him because this is for my grandson. And then I also want to use this because this will be representative of me. Not that I look this perfect, but um, it's fine. So, and that's another thing. Like we sometimes just don't know what each other look like. You know what my hands look like and things like that. But if you want to get to know me a little bit more, you want to hop on over to Instagram. Probably once or twice a year when I notice that I'm getting some new followers, I post a picture and a little introduction of myself, and it just kind of helps us get to know each other. So I did do that at the beginning of the year over there on Insta, if you want to go check that out. And I don't necessarily have to do um, the ink blending around around this paper, um, because Sandra really designed up to the edge of the paper, although it is white core paper, but I cut it enough to where you can't really tell. Okay, so we're gonna put this here because my grandson has a dog that he just loves playing with. Oh, that puppy. Um, as a grandma, I'm like, you know, they got this puppy when she was pregnant. I'm like, you guys really should have waited because you're both first time parents and all of that. Probably should have waited before we knew how we were going to adjust to the baby thing and then get the puppy. But no, 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 they insisted. Um, so that little puppy likes to share toys with my grandson. So like in the Easter baskets this year, my grandson has, his own special Easter basket, and I still do Easter baskets for my kids. It's just fun. Um, but my daughter-in-law and my son will get their own Easter basket, and then I always put something for the dog in there at Christmas time at whatever holiday. So like she has her own, right, thing, so she doesn't need to be playing with the baby's toys. So I just folded this thicker piece of paper in here. I do this when I make pockets because what that does is that just kind of manipulates the paper and it makes the pocket easier to slide in and out of. So we could put a picture on the back, we could put a note, like whatever we want. But what I do want to do, because I'm not a big white space girly, that's just probably, if you've been following me for a little bit, that's just something quirky about me. I don't know why. I do use a lot of like white cards and white paper when I am creating. I like it and I like a little bit of that border, but I don't necessarily want like stark white. So I will cover that out just a little bit to kind of tone it down if you can see that. I don't know. We probably can't see that. And then my camera's doing the whole auto adjust thing. So if that's irritating, you're going to have to let me know. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's see what else we could do. We have more. Okay, so we have this just kind of hanging out on its own. Let's cut this down and make this a fun little pocket or a tuck spot or whatever in the journal. And you can see that this is just kind of how it goes with journaling. This is the funnest part of journaling, which is the decorating. Putting the foundation together can be a little bit more tricky. It's just learned. I really have self-taught a lot. I've watched YouTube creators. I do have a subscription to like Art Journaling Magazine, things like that. Or I go to my used bookstore and sometimes I will see those magazines there and kind of pick those up because individually they're really expensive. They're almost $20 a magazine. What the hey? Like, that's a lot. So when they had a special at Christmas time, they had emailed me a special. I was like, yeah, like I'll do that. That is worth it for me because then I got Art Journaling Magazine and the other one. What's the other one? Art Journaling. I just received. What is the other magazine? Oh, Somerset Studio. That's what. For some reason, I always want to say Stamping Studio, but because that's what kept popping into my head. And I knew that that was wrong. Like, wait, no, Stamping Studio is wrong, right? So we have another page of this with the puppy, right? So that would be fun, maybe to put the rainbow there. I thought right here a fun little picture could go there. I want to save a lot of this for picture space. So I think that this is cute because this kind of peeks in and out of. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to put a little glue on the bottom. And then we'll see if these are dry and see where we can find these to go in the journal. So let's just do this so we can get a little bit of stability when we put something in here so that it's just not going to fall right out. Okay, there we go. And the reason why I did the webcam, I think I told you, is because that phone I was recording on was having like memory issues. And it's easier because it's just recording directly onto my computer. So I have quicker access. Um, how I want to semi-edit the videos. I know I say edit videos, but I'm not a video editor. Like let's be real. But it's fun. It just goes directly to my computer then. Okay, so I'm gonna have to use my crocodile for this because I kind of lobbed off a part of this note card here. So it doesn't. Let's use the corner chomper. We'll do 1/2 of an inch over here, just so everything's kind of even Steven. And what are you celebrating? Well, it's Easter weekend, not what are you celebrating. What are you doing to celebrate if you celebrate Easter this weekend? Just let me know in the comments. We can just kind of start a little crafty discussion. And if I've inspired you, put something in my community tab and let me know. I think that's a lot of fun. Okay, so let's see. I don't know if this one will be dry yet necessarily. Oh, it is. See, it's really dry out today. So I thought this would be fun. Actually, what would be fun, excuse me, let's see, is to kind of just cut this down so then there's like a little bit of a backing and we can make it like a fun little tip out. So let's just do something fun like that. My goal was to make this under an hour, and I'm sorry, my friends, I don't think that I have done that. So if you've needed to fast forward through different things, if you've needed to just kind of get to the gist of what's going on. Like, I don't blame you. It's okay. Um, and if you don't like the format of my Sunday lives, I think I haven't had any complaints about it, but let me know, like, what do you think of that? What do you think of my format that I do? I always try to start it off with like a positive intention. I'll set like an incense or a candle in my room, although not over here because there's not room. But just kind of something fun for my to like make the environment conducive to like calm and creativity. And I always have a fun little ambience going in the background, normally for the cats, but I've had to mute it for the video. It kind of keeps them calm. I do some like little nature things and things like that. It's just fun little things we can do. We can control our own environment once we walk out that front door. We can't necessarily control that everything that happens out there, right? So it's fun when we can embrace the calm and whatever intention and environment we want inside of our home. So I will just cut around that. And so what that'll do is that'll just allow me, and that might be too close. Some of this might be too close. I don't want to end up cutting off what I already did. So this is when the inking will come in handy. This will just allow us to make it like a fun little tip out. I have some of that cello tape from Tim Holtz. I always think Timmy tape because if you guys follow Biddy Penny at all, she uses it or she makes it. I've made it before too, but now that I've purchased it, enough of it, like I haven't had to, and it sticks better than what I make. She calls it Timmy tape, so I always think of that Timmy tape. um, but it's the Tim Holtz cello tape. I think I've done a little bit too much glue with that. And normally I try not to cut around glued spots, but I think I need to take a little alcohol wipe and clean that off and be more careful with my paper cutting scissors next time. Those are my favorite scissors. They are so comfortable. I have to do less cuts. Um, they don't cramp up my hands. It's nice. Really, really nice. So if you're looking to do like an upgrade on your scissors, I highly recommend these. And these are Tim Holtz tonic scissors. And I know they're fairly big, but I like it. I like it. And then I have my little cutter bees and stuff too for like the more fine details. I like fussy cutting though. Not everyone likes fussy cutting. So to some people, it's the whole cussy cutting concept. I get it. I don't like everything. I don't like slow stitch. I semi like diamond painting. I like the results. So I will take probably a year to do one diamond painting because all this, watch TV. When I have time, I'll watch TV and do that. Like I can't crochet, things like that. We all kind of have our own little talents and special things that we can do. Okay. So let's see where we would want to do. I don't have anything in the middle here. So I could do like a little bit of tape right here, and then this could be like a fun tip out. Okay, so let's get out the cello tape, which I try to use it like down to I try to use it down to the very end before I bring out a new one because I wasn't doing that before. Here, let's just go like this. It's going to be a little bit easier. And then I had like 3 or 4 different little sheets of this cello tape out and about, and it got lost. And I thought I was out, so I went and purchased more. And then I was like, wait, I wasn't out. I just wasn't organized. So that happens. So now I try to be a little bit more careful and put it back in the same spot so we don't have it everywhere. So that's a fun little centerpiece. I don't know what else I want to do in the center. Let's see if this is dry. Let's just do a traditional little tie off here. Right. And we could do a fun bow. Like we have enough. My fingers are a little bit fumbly and they're not small. So, but it's just fun to do a fun little tie, a little bow. Oh, I'll be darned. Look at what I just did. Of course I did. Of course I did. I put 2 pages together because why wouldn't I? So I'll just take my little crafty knife here, which I don't think is very sharp. There we go. Now I'm going to need to get back out that tape. And I have another little, oh, I'm probably trying to take it off the wrong spot. I've done that a lot. Oh goodness, just the fun stuff we do when we're crafting. Okay. Because perfection is just an illusion, so nothing's perfect. And if you see somebody doing something perfect, like there's a lot of editing hours that went into that. This is fun too. This looks like the center part. I could do that over here, but since I made, like I could do the backing over here if I want, but since I made this like a little pocket, I think I did. I want to make this part a pocket too, is what I want to do. And I think right here is just fine. So that's what we're going to do. By golly, that's what we're going to do. And we'll just make like a little makeshift pocket. This isn't a traditional pocket, but not everything has to be traditional for it to be usable. Actually, in junk journaling, it's probably preferable that it's not traditional, right? Okay, so my window is open, so I know I have a little bit of traffic kind of coming through. And then there we go. And then that is the pocket. And then we have a little pocket over here. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I had to shut my door. I think my daughter just came home because then it'll echo. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have a very happy Easter. I hope you guys embrace your creativity side. your creative side with your creativity, whatever that looks like for you. I hope you take time to do self-care and let me know what you think about the Sunday format. If you'll be joining me April 12th, I will have a special guest, 11 a.m. Pacific time. And don't forget to click on the links and everything for the projects that I used below, because these rainbows are free, and then everything else is going to be on Be Happy Stationery. And let's send up some good vibes and prayers for Mr. Raoul, since he connects us all so well together. If you guys have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. If you want to come on and do a live with me, feel free to DM me, or you can email me. I check my DMs a little bit more frequently, and we can do a live together. So I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend, and I hope you guys manifest some gratitude for yourself. And that is going to be it for me today. I will see you guys live next weekend. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do a pop-up live, because I will be working the later shift, because I'm the late supervisor next week. But maybe I'll have time to do a recorded video. But if not, check me out on Instagram and follow me on my journey. Thank you guys. Bye.